Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida L076508, Georgia 69178, Idaho MLO 208023796, Illinois 031.0058339, Missouri, North Carolina I210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's the mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.
All right, so welcome to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and today's episode is for my Go Country listeners specifically. I love you guys so much, but this is going to be my last show here on radio. I am going to continue doing my show as I always do every single week on YouTube and Facebook. So for all of my YouTube and Facebook followers and watchers of the show, thank you so much for always joining in. But I do want to make sure that my Go Country listeners know I am not going to be here. So if you do love listening to the show every Saturday morning, you guys need to make sure that you head over to my YouTube channel. You can find it at Mortgage Mom Radio. Just type it in and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. It is also very important if you'd like to get a link to join. I do send that text message out once a week. I did not send it out today since I am truly addressing my radio fans. I didn't want a bunch of people to jump on that are used to my YouTube show being very, very informational and not get what they were looking for. But make sure if you do want to join, you want to do it with me live, you want to hear what I'm saying, you want to ask your questions, make sure that you text the word live, LIVE, to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. Text the word live. No quotation marks, nothing all, just literally in your text, just type in live, LIVE. That will make sure that you get opted in and you will get a text message once a week to join the show and hear what is going on in this world in regards to real estate and mortgage. So what do I always talk about? If you've been listening to the show, you already know I talk about the economy, I talk about inflation, I talk about what's going on in the different reports, retail sales, whether they've come down, what's going on with interest rates, the Fed when they make their announcements, all very, very important information for anybody at all who either owns a home, is looking to refinance, if you looking to purchase your first home, if you're looking to purchase your next property, an investment. I am keeping you up to date with all of the very important information that you need to know about what is going on in this world. So make sure that you do join me live, or at least subscribe to the channel so that you see the alerts that a new show is out. I always do it every Wednesday at 1 p.m. So there is a new show every single week, unless of course there is a holiday and I go dark. I did not have a show last Wednesday because of Juneteenth, so I chose not to do a show that day. But I do a show just about every single week of the year. So make sure that you guys do that. Text the word live, LIVE, to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. Also, like I said, subscribe to my channel and YouTube will send you those notifications as well if you prefer that over getting a text message. Now, there has been some very important things that have happened this week. We did have a retail sales report that came out, definitely worse than what they were anticipating. And we did see interest rates continue to kind of slide a little bit down. So right now we're actually seeing interest rates that are the best interest rates that we've had all year here in 2024. Well well below the interest rates that we saw in 2023. And we are starting to see that application volume is picking up, which has been great. Definitely helpful for us in the mortgage lending world and the real estate agents. It's helping to make homes just a bit more affordable, having interest rates come down a bit. It's also starting to get to a point where clients have the opportunity to refinance to try to get some of that debt paid off. So you've heard me talk about that before. I just did a consultation yesterday with a client, and he did exactly what I told him to do. He went home, he got all of his statements out, he wrote down his balances on every credit card, the exact interest rates on every single credit card, the interest rate on his home loan, and the mortgage balance that he had. And in his situation, he had a $250,000 first mortgage at an interest rate of 3.125. So you would not think that it would make sense for him to do a refinance right now. But once we went through all of the debts that he had and what the interest rates were on each one of those debts, one of them being as high as 34%. So again, if you haven't looked at those credit cards in a while to know what you're paying in interest on your balances, you really probably should do that. But once we were done putting all of that together and running his blended rate, his interest rate was actually at 6.39. That is what he is paying on a monthly interest rate on all of his debts combined. We were able to look at different loan options for him, and one of those loan options that was available was an FHA loan, and I was able to pay off all of the debt for him at an interest rate of 6.25% for his personal situation. So it's starting to get to a point where it is possible to refinance. If it doesn't make sense to refinance, there are home equity lines of credit available. People are starting to purchase homes and they're getting interest rates in that 6% range, which is much, much more affordable than where we were earlier in this year. And even last year when interest rates were touching, the low 8% range and the high 7% range, interest rates are definitely starting to come down. And we're just hoping that throughout the rest of this year that we're going to continue to see those interest rates slide a bit. Obviously, nobody has a crystal ball to know what is going to happen. Nobody knows, that they are going to, for sure, in fact, continue to drop. But that is most likely what is going to happen. And that is what the majority of financial analysts are talking about. So in this client situation, he can refinance now, get all of his debt paid off, have one monthly payment. It was going to save him about $1,000 a month in his cash flow. And he knows that he has the opportunity to refinance that loan again when those interest rates do come down further, which would also be saving him even additional over and beyond that $1,000 that he's going to save right now per month. So definitely, if you're in that situation, if you have that debt that needs to get paid off, if you need that help, please don't hesitate to reach out. That is what we are here for. We do mortgage for a living. I don't get paid just to give you guys information and keep you up to date. I love doing it. I love bringing you that information. I love educating you on what is happening in the market. But we get paid on the loans that we do. So please always think of us first. Give us a call. That same number that you text to opt yourself in so that you can continue to listen to my show is the same phone number that you would call if you need help and you want to see what we can do for you, whether that be a purchase, whether that be a refinance. We actually have a couple of reverse mortgage applications going right now as well. And I know that reverse mortgage has a really terrible stigma. It was not a fantastic loan option back in the day, back 10 years ago. But once the CFPB came out and regulated all of the lending guidelines, it's actually turned out to be a really fantastic option for many clients out there and for many of their families who don't want to put their loved ones in homes. They want to keep them in their current home, in their environment. They want to be able to bring in help and medical services for them, somewhere that is comfortable for them. A reverse mortgage is helping those families to do that. So if you have questions about reverse, please don't hesitate either. If you think loan of any kind, mortgage related, think of us. Think of Mortgage Mom Radio. So once again, that number, it's 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend For You. WELEND and the number 4. I can see that my favorite follower, Why Not, is on, and he says hello all. So Why Not, thanks so much for joining. You're more than welcome to throw your questions into the feed if you'd like me to read them out loud and answer them for you. But we are going to take a super quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
She's a mortgage mom.
This is Debbie Marcoux, the Mortgage Mom. Well, I've had a lot of questions lately. What can I do to bring my monthly payment down until interest rates get better? Well, if you are a buyer and you're out looking at homes, what you want to focus on is a program called a 2-1 buy down. If the market rate today is 7%, you would start your first year at 5%, year 2 at 6%, and year 3 through 30 would be at that 7%. It's a great way to enter the market today, knowing that rate cuts are just around the corner. Give us a call or head on over to our website at mortgagemomradio.com.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926.
When you're in need and don't know where to go, pick up the phone and call mom.
Okay, so welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I'm Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom. And today, unfortunately, I feel so bad, but I am saying goodbye to all of my Go Country listeners. I do plan to come back and to be on the station again, but I'm going to take a little break. I have been doing this since 2016, and I started off going into the radio station every Saturday morning. I'd wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was day 6 for me as far as work days went, and I would get up, get in the car, and roll out to LA and do my show live at the studio at Go Country. And then that eventually morphed into doing it from work, but doing it still live. And then I turned it into actually here live on YouTube and sending the sound to the station. So since 2016, I have been doing this, and I have not taken a break at all. So I am going to take a hiatus for probably a couple of months, and then I will be back. So don't you fret. But in the meantime, if you would like to continue to watch the show, if you'd like to continue to get all of the valuable education and information that I bring to you every week, you have to make sure that you know when I go live. So you can do that either by subscribing to my YouTube channel, where it will send you a notification letting you know that my channel's gone live. Or the easiest way, since we all know many times we don't see those YouTube notifications until it's already done, is to opt yourself in to get a text message from me once a week. And the text message will have the link to join. You just literally click on it and it brings you right to it. You get to watch me film it live. You get to ask me questions, put them in the feed. I read them out loud. I answer them for you. And it's a very engaging show. And I am going to continue to do that. So how do you do that? Well, you text the word live. LIVE to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. That is also how you call my office. So if you need anything for any type of loan, that is how you call the office. It is the exact same telephone number. Once again, it's 844-935-3634. Now you can also head over to my website, to mortgagemomradio.com. You can book yourself an appointment. If you'd like to speak with me directly, you can send me an email through the Contact Us button. Everything comes directly to me. So all of your responses that you get are going to be from me personally. So please don't hesitate. Go to the website, book yourself an appointment, call the office, and get the information that you need, whether that's a refinance, whether that's a purchase. If you're thinking about a home equity line of credit, if you need a reverse mortgage for yourself, or if you're a loved one, if your parents need help, or your aunt or uncle and you're the main primary person taking care of them, reach out. Let's see what we can do to help you with those expenses that you have trying to care for them in their older age. Tons of great options, but when you think mortgage, think Mortgage Mom Radio. So I do always bring you guys valuable information. I talked right before the last commercial break about the blended rate scenario, being able to refinance. Interest rates are on their way down. It is starting to get a little bit more affordable for our clients. clients, you heard my commercial talk about the 2-1 buy down that is available for buyers. So I do want to make sure that I reiterate that. Many clients have heard that commercial and they think that they can also take advantage of that 2-year buy down for a refinance, and that is not the case. A 2-1 buy down, a 1-1 buy down, or a 3-1 buy down is not for a refinance. It is for a purchase, and it is something that we need to discuss before you write an offer on a property. It is something that a seller has to pay for. You, as the buyer, are not allowed to pay the cost of that buy down program. So you need to make sure that you are reaching out to us in advance of making an offer on a property to discuss what it takes to get that program and make sure that you are negotiating that fee into your contract as you are writing that offer to a seller. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that I also said that interest rates are starting to come down. In that commercial that I just ran, I said if the current interest rate starts at 7%, then the first year on a 2-year buy down, the interest rate would be 5%. Second year, 6%. Third year, 7%. Well, right now, if we're looking, let's say at a FHA or a VA type of loan, which a lot of first-time buyers tend to move towards because they offer those lower down payments. A vet can get in with 0 down, a VA loan. First-time buyer, FHA, you can get in with 3.5% down. You don't even have to be a first-time buyer to get a VA loan, to get an FHA loan. And with those programs today, you would actually be at an interest rate of about 6.25%-ish. And again, I say ish because this is a show. I can't quote you an APR right off the top of my head. I can't rattle it off, which is important in commercials for lending. But every single person gets a different interest rate. We've talked about this. Based on your credit score, the type of property that you're buying, how much money that you're putting down, all that good stuff rolls into what interest rate that you get. But I have been quoting in that range of 6.25% to 6.5%. So if you did a buy down, your first year would be 4.25% to 4.5%. Second year, 5.25% to 5.5%. Third year, 6.25% to 6.5%. So this program is fabulous because it gives you the interest rates of the future, but it gives you those interest rates today. So it buys you the time and the affordability on that home to be able to purchase now. And as interest rates continue to come down and as interest rates continue to get better, you would have the opportunity to refinance before you get to that third year where that interest rate is as high as it might go. You're going to want to refinance that loan prior to that happening, but it makes that home more affordable today. I can see I have a question that came into chat. It says, if you do a 2-1 buy down, can you refinance still? And absolutely. So that is exactly what I was just saying before I read your question. We want to make sure that you get refinanced before you would max out on that final interest rate that would remain for the rest of that 30-year term that is left. So again, there are 3-year buy downs where you actually start 3% lower than today's market rate. There are 2-year buy downs where you start 2% lower than today's market rate. And then there are 1-year buy downs where you start 1 year lower than today's market rate. And everybody has a different reason for selecting why they want to do a 1 or a 2 or a 3 year. Some people feel that it's going to take longer than just a couple of years before interest rates come down enough, and they feel better and more confident going with that 3-year buy down. Other people, the 3-year buy down is a lot more expensive than a 1-year buy down or a 2-year buy down. So the longer that you take that buy down period for, the more expensive that does cost. And again, remember that I said we have to get that money paid for by the seller. So when you're negotiating a contract, you might not have a chance to negotiate enough to get to that 3-year buy down or get to that 2-year buy down. So that 1-year buy down would get you 1% lower than where today's market is. So if you qualified for a 6.25% interest rate today, you would be able to start that first year at 5.25%. And it would be a lot less expensive when negotiating with the seller for how much money that you need. Now, other people feel that we're right around the corner to interest rates starting to fall. So, many analysts are talking about they thought a rate cut was coming in July. I don't think a rate cut's cutting in July. I'm just going to give it to you straight up and be honest about it. And that's what I hope that you guys love about this show, is that I always give you the real details, what I truly believe is going to happen. I don't think that we're going to see that first rate cut come until the last quarter of this year. And I've been saying that for the last 18 months on this show. Go back and watch all of my previous episodes. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on podcast. I don't believe we're going to see that till final quarter this year. I think probably November is when we'll see that first rate cut come. But when we know that that first rate cut gets here, a lot of people feel that the 1 year is enough. It gives them enough time for interest rates to come down that they could refinance again. So everybody has a different reason for why they would select a 1 year, a 2 year, or a 3 year buy down. But that buy down option is spectacular for somebody who is trying to buy a home today with interest rates at an elevated level, trying to make that home more affordable for them and allow them the opportunity to still buy in a market like today. Another question from Why Not? He says, what qualifies a buyer for a buy down? So honestly, just about every program out there offers a buy down. FHA, VA, and conventional all offer them. We do have a couple of jumbo product options that do offer the buy down. So depending on what kind of loan it is that you are looking at, then we determine what the cost would be and if that loan program does have it. But the main programs that we offer, conventional, FHA, or VA, that I would say about 90% of borrowers in today's market would select one of those program types, all offer buy down programs. So anybody can qualify for that buy down program, but it is a matter of negotiating that cost with the seller in your contract. So you can't get an offer accepted and then decide, I'm going to start shopping interest rates now, and I'm going to start calling other lenders and see who's got the best deal for me. I have to hurry up and select a lender because I'm in escrow already. You missed the boat. You missed the opportunity. You needed to negotiate with the seller to get that cost paid, regardless of which buy down program that you select. So I'm hoping that everybody's hearing that loud and clear. If you want to take advantage of that program, you need to call us directly in advance. Let's get you pre-approved. Let's talk about how much money that you're going to need to get from the seller so that you and your real estate agent can have a really good conversation about the contracts that you're writing. Remember that when you ask the seller, and sellers are going to appreciate that I'm talking about this, but when you ask the seller to pay for something for you, that comes off of their bottom line. So if their home is listed for sale at $500,000 as an example, and you ask for $10,000 in closing cost credit towards this buy down, then they are truly only getting $490 for that house. So if you're in a multiple offer situation, or the home just came to market yesterday and you're writing an offer and you're hoping that the seller is going to give you a large credit to cover a buy down program, you may need to offer them $505 to ask for 10. And, maybe you don't, but it is important to have those very serious conversations with your real estate agent in advance and up front before you write a contract, before you even start going out and looking at homes. Because you heard me say it, if the home just came on the market yesterday, it's only been listed for a day or for 3 days, there's a very good chance that that seller's not going to be willing to budge very much. Now, if that home's been on the market for 60 days and they don't have any offers and they're not in escrow, then you're looking at a completely different type of offer that you might write. So make sure that you call us in advance. Go to our website, go to mortgagemomradio.com, call us 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. Or make sure that you're subscribing to my YouTube channel, or you're opting yourself into the text messages so that you stay in the know. You continue to get educated every week and you don't miss a show. You can find it on podcast, you can find it on YouTube, and you can watch me do it live. So same phone number to call my office is the same phone number that you text to get that link once a week. So text LIVE, LIVE, to 844-935-3634. Again, that's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. We're going to take a super quick break, and we get back. I'm going to wrap up my final show here at Go Country 105.
Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926.
She's a mortgage mom.
This is Debbie Marcoux, the Mortgage Mom. Well, consumer debt is at an all-time high. Many of you are tapped out on those credit cards, but many of you have a lot of equity in your home. It might be a great time to explore a home equity line of credit or home equity loan. Give me a call at 844-935-3634 or head on over to my website at mortgagemomradio.com.
She's a mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.
Okay, so I am back, and I just want to, before I wrap up my final show here on Go Country 105, and like I said, I will probably be back in a couple of months. I just need a break, just a little break. But I will eventually be back, you guys. I promise, trust me, I swear I will be back. But before I wrap up this last show, one thing that I do want to touch on real quick is for my real estate agents that are listening to this show. I have been talking a lot lately on the show about a platform, and you've probably heard commercials run, that is called Redefine Lending, and it's redefinelo.com. Today is Wednesday. I'm doing this show live, and the sound is going to go to the station, and it's going to run on Saturday morning at 7:30. But tomorrow, Thursday, I am actually doing a workshop for my real estate agents to thoroughly explain the Redefine LO platform and how that is going to benefit my real estate agents who are willing to get licensed to get paid for a loan that they refer to the Redefine Lending company. So if you are hearing this on Saturday for the first time, go on over to Redefine Lending's platform on YouTube or go to the website. You will be able to watch the full workshop about Redefine. I do think that it is something that would be fabulous for many, many real estate agents out there, a way for you to generate additional income. So make sure that you do check that out. Again, it's called Redefine Lending. You can find their YouTube channel, and you will be able to either, if you watch this before tomorrow morning, Thursday at 10:30 a.m., you'll be able to do it with me live, or you can go back and watch the presentation because obviously it will stay on their YouTube channel. Or you can go to their website, redefinelo.com, and get yourself signed up. And you can probably, I'm sure that they'll put a link to that presentation as well that you can watch it. But that is it for me, you guys. I'm going to take a couple months off. I am saying goodbye to my Go Country listeners. I love you guys so much. I want you to keep listening. I want you to keep getting educated. I want you to still think of me as your mortgage mom. So do me a favor, subscribe to my YouTube channel, text the word live to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. Head over to my website, mortgagemomradio.com. Anytime you think about something that you need to do with your house, whether it's real estate or mortgage, think of mom, think of mortgage mom, think of me. So you guys give me a call and let's see what we can do to help you out, and continue to follow me, continue to get educated, and continue to watch the shows. I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your week, and hopefully I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday at 1 p.m. Talk to y'all real soon. Bye-bye.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida L076508, Georgia 69178, Idaho MLO 208023796, Illinois 031.0058339, Missouri, North Carolina I210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's a mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.